Hello, good evening. This is Murli Verma from Sellence Trading Hub. Okay, we can check the Nifty Bank Nifty Sensex predictions for tomorrow. Before that, we can just look about the world news. Israel-Iran war. Trump compares US strikes on Iran with Hiroshima, Nagasaki bombings. US President Donald Trump on Wednesday compared US strikes in Iran to the Second World War bombings in Japan's Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and said that the US strikes helped Iran and Israel reach a swift solution amid their attacks on each other. Trump dismissed an intelligence leak that said that US strikes on Iran had a very limited impact. US justifies airstrikes on Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio defended recent US strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, claiming the country is now much further away from acquiring a nuclear weapon despite intelligence reports suggesting only a temporary setback. Trump backs strike impact. President Trump echoed Rubio's stance, stating on Truth Social that Iran's nuclear facilities at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan were completely destroyed. Conflicting assessments on damage. While the US administration asserts significant impact, early intelligence and Israeli military statements suggest it is too soon to fully assess how much Iran's nuclear capabilities were actually affected. Satellite imagery confirms extensive damage. High resolution satellite images released by Maxar Technologies visibly confirm heavy destruction at the targeted Iranian nuclear sites, supporting claims of a precise and powerful US operation. Iran plans national funerals for top officials. Iran will hold state funerals for military and scientific leaders killed during the 12-day war with Israel, including IRGC chief Hussein Salami, highlighting the conflict's the severe human toll. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio this morning defended the US airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, insisting the country is now much further away from a nuclear weapon than before. Speaking to Politico on the sidelines of the NATO summit, Rubio pushed back against media reports, citing a preliminary US intelligence assessment that the strikes may have only delayed Iran's nuclear program by a few months. The bottom line is they are much further away from a nuclear weapon today than they were before the president took this bold action, Rubio said, referring to last weekend's strikes on Iran's key nuclear sites at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. His comments align with President Donald Trump's statements on Truth Social, where he claimed the sites had been completely destroyed. Iran's parliament this morning overwhelmingly voted to suspend cooperation with the United Nations nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, citing its inaction and silence during the conflict. According to Iranian state media, the legislation approved by 221 lawmakers with one abstention and no opposition would see Iran's Atomic Energy Organization halt all collaboration with the IAEA until assurance are provided for the safety and security of its nuclear facilities. The proposed measure still needs the approval of the Guardian Council, Iran's top legislative vetting body, before it can be enforced. Lawmakers reportedly erupted into chants of death to America and death to Israel after casting their votes, underscoring the rising anti-Western sentiment in Iran's political establishment. Tehran has long been critical of the IAEA, but Frustrations have deepened since the war, as officials claim the agency turned a blind eye to repeated violations of Iranian sovereignty and international law. Meanwhile, Shahbaz Sharif expresses readiness for meaningful dialogue with India. Sharif also conveyed his profound gratitude to the kingdom for its steadfast support to Pakistan during the recent standoff with India. The Pakistani premier had earlier voiced similar sentiments during visits to Iran and Azerbaijan last month, signaling openness to peaceful negotiations on a range of bilateral issues. Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has reiterated Islamabad's willingness to engage in a meaningful dialogue with India to resolve all outstanding issues, including Jammu and Kashmir, water sharing, disputes, trade, and terrorism. Sharif's remarks came during a telephonic conversation with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman on Tuesday, as reported by Radio Pakistan. The outreach follows heightened tensions between India and Pakistan after that April 22nd terror attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, which killed 26 people. Pakistan is ready to engage in a meaningful dialogue with India on all outstanding issues, including Jammu and Kashmir, water, trade, and terrorism, Sharif was quoted as saying. In the wake of the Pahalgam attack, India took a series of punitive steps, including suspending the 1960 Indus Water Treaty and halting all bilateral trade with Pakistan. On May 7th, New Delhi launched Operation Sindoor, targeting terror infrastructure in Pakistan-controlled territories. The strikes led to 4 days of cross-border clashes, which concluded with a ceasefire understanding on May 10th. During his call with the Saudi leader, Sharif also conveyed his profound gratitude to the kingdom for its steadfast support to Pakistan during the recent standoff with India, the report said. The Pakistani premier had earlier voiced similar sentiments during visits to Iran and Azerbaijan last month, signaling openness to peaceful negotiations on a range of bilateral issues. However, India has maintained a firm stance, reiterating that any dialogue with Pakistan must focus exclusively on terrorism and the return of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Reacting to Sharif's remarks, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randir Jaiswal reaffirmed New Delhi's position. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, terror and talks cannot go together, terror and trade cannot go together, and water and blood cannot flow together. Jaiswal stated, adding that the Indus Water Treaty would remain suspended until Islamabad credibly and irreversibly ends its support for cross-border terrorism. Meanwhile, Sharif and the Saudi Crown Prince also discussed the evolving situation in West Asia. The Pakistani leader expressed full support for de-escalation and a peaceful resolution to the ongoing Iran-Israel conflict through dialogue and diplomacy. According to Radio Pakistan, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman appreciated Pakistan's solidarity and acknowledged its constructive role in promoting peace and in the region. For the business news, LIC, IDBI, sales expected to help Sender surpass financial year 26 disinvestment target. Government expects up to rupees 80,000 crore from disinvestments in LIC and IDBI, the two key transactions against the rupees 47,000 crore budget target for capital receipts. The Sender's disinvestment drive for financial year 26 is expected to be anchored by two major transactions: a 3% stake sale in Life Insurance Corporation of India and the strategic disinvestment of IDBI Bank, which together could fetch up to rupees 80,000 crore, significantly exceeding the Union Budget 2025's target of rupees 47,000 crore for miscellaneous capital receipts. At least this year, DIPIM will complete the IDBI strategic sale. The receipts will come from that in this year. The match is certain. There is no need to worry about recipients. It is a big amount. It will be rupees 40,000 to 50,000 crore, a senior government official told Money Control. The official added that this amount alone would be sufficient to meet the budget target, which now includes both disinvestment and asset monetization proceeds under the miscellaneous capital receipts head. Okay, we can come back to the news of Nifty, Bank Nifty and Sensex predictions. Nifty today opened at 25,179 and went up to 25,220, and the low was 25,125 and closed at 25,244. 25,237 is a big support. If it is remain tomorrow, it will go up to 25,277 or 25,317. If it is below the 25,237, market is opening below that, it may go down to 25,197 or 25,158 or below. The 25,100 call today opened at 135 and went down to 110 only, and it went up to 219 and closed at 175. 172 is a big support. If it is opening above that, it will go 193, 215 or 258. If it is below 172 opening, it may go 160 or 150 or 129 or 107. 25,100 put is today opened at 78 and went up to 79 only, and went back to 22 and closed at 23. 23 is a big support. If it is opening is above that, it will go up to 26 or 32 or 40 or 43. If it is opening below 23, it may go 21, 15, 8 or maybe it becomes 0. Then today Bank Nifty has opened 56,564 and went up to 56,681 and again come down to 56,420 and closed at 56,621. The closing is above the support 56,611. If it is above that tomorrow, it may go up to 56,736 or 56,861. If the opening is below 56,611, it may go down to 56,245 or 56,062. Then Sensex is open today at 82,372 and went up to 82,660 and it came down to 82,339 and closed at 82,756. If it is opening above 82,718, it may go up to 83,125 or 83,533. The opening is below 82,718, it may go down to 82,660 or 82,372. That is the second support of Sensex. This is the prediction for Nifty, Bank Nifty and Sensex. Thank you very much.